We have the Green Bay Packers taking on the Dallas Cowboys. This is your NFC Wildcard 2024 prediction and preview video. Hit subscribe if you're new. Also, hit the like button. Let's start with the Dallas Cowboys because they are the home team and the NFC East winners. And for this entire season, they have been great at home. They're undefeated at home. You could talk about the Detroit Lions win being controversial, them beating the Seattle Seahawks being controversial as well. But Dak Prescott has been one of the best quarterbacks this season. After leading the league in picks last season, he's rebounded very nicely. 36 passing touchdowns this season to 9 interceptions and led the league in passing touchdowns. And he's definitely going to get a contract extension after this season. He has to take care of the football in this game. The offensive line has to step up as well because the run game has not been consistent all season long with this team. And Tony Pollard is a good running back. He averaged 4 yards a carry, 1,005 yards rushing in the season, and 6 rushing touchdowns. But the way the Dallas Cowboys have been going out there and beating teams as of late and for majority of this season is through Dak Prescott by throwing the football to guys like CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks. And CeeDee Lamb has to have a great game in this game. 1,749 receiving yards and 12 receiving touchdowns on the season. One of the best wide receivers in the NFL. And Brandon Cooks is a perfect counterpart to him. 657 receiving yards and 8 receiving touchdowns. And the thing is with this Dallas Cowboys team, they didn't have that deep threat last season in the playoffs when they lost against San Francisco 49ers. Against this Packers team, stretched the field. I understand the Green Bay Packers have a very solid pass defense, but their rushing defense has been up and down. You can run the football with Tony Pollard, but you have to win this game through Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott has to carry them over in this game. Tony Pollard has not been that consistent this season. It's not all on him because the offensive line's been dealing with injuries throughout the season. And you looked at Arizona Cardinals game months ago. I understand it was a long time ago and it's a different Dallas Cowboys team. But this offensive line has a hole up for Dak Prescott from tackle to tackle. When they have given him more than 3 seconds in the pocket, he has one of the best QBRs in the game today. And look out for Jake Ferguson as well because he's been a top tight end for this team all season long. It's going to come down to can they run the football just enough so they can run play action and get Brandon Cooks going deep, and the same with CeeDee Lamb because this is the same Packers defense a couple weeks ago that allowed 30 points to the Carolina Panthers, one of the worst offenses in the NFL. And the Dallas Cowboys are playing at home. They can definitely score over 30 points in this game. Dak Prescott just has to take care of the football and stretch them deep with Jake Ferguson and CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks. They have the weapons to get this thing done on the offensive end, and they have to come out with the killer instinct. This is Mike McCarthy, the team that he used to coach for, and the Green Bay Packers, the organization that let him go. He took a year off. Then he went to the Dallas Cowboys and say, hey, I can turn this thing around. I can make this team a true Super Bowl contender. And they look like that right now. And you look at Dak Prescott since week 10, the best QBR in the NFL, especially against pressure. And you look at the defense for the Dallas Cowboys, it has been phenomenal. They're 5th in passing defense, but they're 16th in rushing defense. I am worried about that because you're going against Aaron Jones and possibly A.J. Dillon if he's able to play in this game. I'm looking at Michael Parsons here. He has to come out and have a signature game in this game. I understand he has 14 sacks on the season, 1 forced fumble. The defense is at its best when he's able to go out there, rush the passer, and when they can move him around. I'm looking at the defensive coordinator and Dan Quinn. Move him around the line of scrimmage. Let him walk the sidelines. Let him do things like that. Put him around at that linebacker spot and move him around to open up rushing lanes for everyone else on this defensive line as well. DeMarcus Lawrence is a very good run stopper. He's never going to be a guy that's been a high sack producer, only 4 sacks on the season and 1 forced fumble, but he's very good at stopping the run. They have to go back there and run fit a lot in this game because this is a Packers team that has a very good quarterback, just like the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott. I'm getting to the Packers just a second with their offense. But you have to be able to go out there and stop that run game with Aaron Jones because that's the majority of their offense. It works off of that run game. And Jordan Love is a very good quarterback. That's why I'm looking at guys like Stephon Gilmore, who is questionable for this game, but should be ready to go in this game. He left the game early against the Washington Commanders dealing with an arm injury. And you have Deron Bland as well. Now, this team hasn't had Trayvon Diggs in the last couple of months, but he would be very essential in this game because even though the Packers receivers are very young, you have Jaden Reed, who you need to be accountable for. The same with Romeo Dobbs. And if Christian Watson can play, remember what he did to this Cowboys team a year ago. He came out there and he looked phenomenal against this team. He had 3 receiving touchdowns. You have to go out there and be physical with those wide receivers and get some things done on the line of scrimmage, but it starts with the defensive pressure up front. If Micah Parsons cannot go off in this game, and if he cannot show up, it's going to be a long day for the Dallas Cowboys defense, because they've let up some big plays down the stretch, like how they did against the Detroit Lions in the run game and how Deron Bland did against DK Metcalf in that game as well. Even though he did rebound very good against an out route on Tyler Lockett. He basically pushed him out. He intercepted the football. He has to be key in this game as well. He led the league in pick sixes, and I expect for him to be a shutdown corner in this game as well. But the keys of victory for Dallas Cowboys on the defensive end: stop the run, get pressure, be aggressive with those wide receivers, and the same with Jaron Kearse as well, who has been a very solid safety with this team. And they have to also take care of the football on the offensive side as well. Now let's talk about the Green Bay Packers. This is a team that has had a very up and down season, because you look at their defense, net rating wise, it's solid. They're 9th in passing defense, but their rush defense is 27th. And a lot of that is because of the game planning of Joe Barry and lack thereof, and because of the injuries that they have suffered as well. But you look at Jordan Love in the last 8 games, 18 passing touchdowns to 1 interception. Dak Prescott leads the league in passing touchdowns. Jordan Love is 2nd in leading the league in passing touchdowns. He's been phenomenal this season. Despite the injuries around him, he has been a very good quarterback this season with this team, but they have to come out and establish that run game against the Dallas Cowboys team. Aaron Jones did miss some time this season dealing with an injury, but he averaged 4.6 yards a carry for 656 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. A.J. Dillon is dealing with a thumb injury, but before he got injured, he had 613 rushing yards on the season and 2 rushing touchdowns. They're not big play running backs. Aaron Jones can do that for you, and he's crushed this Dallas Cowboys team in the past when they had Aaron Rodgers on the roster. But the one thing with this Green Bay Packers rushing attack, they're physical up front. And physical running backs have given the Dallas Cowboys a lot of problems. Look at what happened in the Detroit Lions game. Let's go back a couple months ago in the Arizona Cardinals game. James Conner was giving them serious work in that rushing attack. He averaged 5 yards a carry before contact. If the offensive line can go out there and they can get a strong push, and these running backs can fight for an extra 2 to 3 yards, that can extend a drive and that can extend for a first down to keep the Packers on the field. The Packers have to win time possession in this game. Jordan Love is going to go out there and be a very good quarterback. His QBR is on the same length as Dak Prescott on the back half of the season. He's been very good. Like I mentioned, the last 8 games, he's been on fire. As long as you take care of him inside the pocket, he will be good, because this Dallas Cowboys team leads the league in pressure rate. But you look at Jordan Love. He has the best QBR against pressure rate, and he has the best touchdown to interception ratio to pressure rate as well. And he has those key weapons in Romeo Doubs and Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed has been very good when he's been fully healthy, and the same Romeo Doubs as well. You look at Christian Watson, he's missed a lot of time. Christian Watson, when he went against the Kansas City Chiefs, he was a complete game breaker. 422 receiving yards on the season, 5 receiving touchdowns. He averaged 15 yards a catch. If he can play in this game, he's questionable for this game, that's a huge piece for the Green Bay Packers. But back to Jaden Reed. 793 receiving yards on the season, 8 receiving touchdowns, 13 yards a catch. He's been a very good playmaker with this team. Get him going, especially up the seams against the Dallas Cowboys defense. And Luke Musgrave has been very solid in the short game as well, especially when it's 3rd and 2 and 3rd and 3. But it comes down to this offensive line. Can they get a push up front with guys like Elton Jenkins and Zach Tom at that tackle position? Far as the defense for the Green Bay Packers, when they've been fully healthy, they have looked very good. Isaiah McDuffie is questionable for this game. He missed last week, but the week before, he got injured on the field. He was carted off the field. Hopefully, he will be able to play in this game. But you have Devondre Campbell, who's a very good linebacker for this team. He's able to go out there, stop the run, can cover guys like Tony Pollard out the backfield, but he's missed time this season. Kenny Clark is phenomenal in the middle of that defense. And you have Devontae Wyatt as well, who's a very good pass rusher with this team. 5.5 sacks on the season and has a high pressure rate. You look at Preston Smith, also phenomenal. 8 sacks on the season, 2 forced fumbles. The one thing with the Green Bay Packers, their strength of their defense is on the edge in the middle of the field. And that's where they have to beat this Dallas Cowboys team at. You can get pressure on the side of Dak Prescott, but do not give him the ability to step in the pocket. The more time you give Dak Prescott, the more trouble that you're going to be into. And this is a coach that is seasoned in the playoffs, just like Coach LaFleur. But Mike McCarthy's been here a lot of times. And the same with LaFleur and his short tenure with the Green Bay Packers. They have to come out ready in this game. Jair Alexander is one of the best cover corners in the game. I expect for him to travel the field with CeeDee Lamb. You have to slow down CeeDee Lamb, because if you don't, it's going to be a long day. Ice him out the game plan. And when teams have taken him out the game plan and you just focus on Brandon Cooks being that number one wide receiver, the offense is not the same. Look at what happened against the Miami Dolphins. They struggled to get that passing attack down the field. It's going to come down to Joe Barry and these players to step up on the defensive end. With that being said, this is going to be a very good football game. This is going to be an old school Packers versus Cowboys game, and I love it. With that being said, I am taking the Dallas Cowboys to win this game 28-24. But let me know in the comment section below, who do you have winning this game? The Dallas Cowboys or the Green Bay Packers? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, when each and every last win, guys, stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace.